Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me? Alrighty. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is G, and this is the video for the week of July 20th. It's a powerful week. July is a powerful month. If you look carefully, you'll see that the Sun, Jupiter, and Pluto are a big deal this week. Lots of authority figure energy is on deck. We're moving from water, from emotions, from the feelings, from the past, from maybe being overly emotional, right? But focus on home and family. And whenever I say home, it's not just where you live, it is also your ancestry, but it is also like the motherland where you come from in that ancestry piece, not just like the people and the culture necessarily, but that was my homeland, my country. So for wherever we are currently, where is your home, right? What country do you live in? Where are you watching from? Like this is all Cancer energy. And so when the sun is riding through there, it puts a focus on the authority figures. And we have the Mercury retrograde still going on, but look, it's at 16. It's going to end this week. Mercury retrograde ends on the 23rd. The 23rd, the day after the sun makes a move, right? Internalizing my emotions, really thinking about emotional safety, emotional security, because you belong somewhere. And that is what Cancer energy really truly is about, a sense of belonging. I found my tribe, or am I finding my roots again type of energy, because it's Mercury sitting still. Mercury is wanting to learn and just going through the data and the details and looking over the paperwork and having conversations. And so maybe decisions about moving, maybe decisions about mom, maybe decisions that involve pull up emotions from the childhood, emotions from the past. So it can be complicated. I'm kind of in this energy myself already. At the critical degree of Cancer, before we get there, 29 degrees is considered the billionaire degree. Public figures, big money, something is kind of critical. Usually something has to be done at 29 degrees. It's a report card about the health of a thing or of a person. It's at 2, talks about the values, and it's conjunct Jupiter. Now, before we go any further, this is what this video is all about. Jupiter gives extreme confidence, likely way overconfident. I walk in a room and I'm going to take charge. That's Leo. I walk in a room and whether I'm being bossy, but I may take charge in other ways, like where I'm going to take the spotlight. So I can be funny. I can use humor. I can be entertaining. I could do something that somehow shifts the light on myself, because Leo kind of has it can be the desire to be the center of attraction, especially with the 2 degrees being here. And with Jupiter adding to the courage of Leo energy, and this is very much heart energy too, right? So this can be a really strong benevolent energy, but this would have to be with individuals who operate on that level, folks. Okay, that's the reality. We got to keep things realistic. If it's people who normally operate on that level, then sure, that makes sense. But if their Leo energy is more about, ego and pride, well, then that's probably where it's going to operate. These are 2 really optimistic things, and Jupiter is the beliefs and the perceptions, but confidence and possibly overconfidence. So when a boss gets overconfident, it can get tricky. It's at the exact opposition of Pluto. Power, energy. Does the group have the power? Yes, the group has the power. The 4s are all over the chart still. So this is a collective action. This is the group wanting change, deep, meaningful, purposeful change, providing a new rubrics, providing a new form, a new shape, a new mold. We're reestablishing how and what we want for the future in terms of power. Okay. Technology at the forefront of this. Likely an authority figure who abuses their power, who shows us more examples of abusing their power. We have Venus starting off the week at 11 degrees. The desire energy, then which is shocks and surprises with values and within the service industry, but any career, job that is about serving in some way. These can be policemen, this can be firemen, this can be EMTs, anybody who shows up on the scene and who's considered a public servant, here to serve and protect type of energy, but also, the healthcare industry is part of this as well. And finances and money and desire. Venus being smart, how to create harmony, what to bring to the party, how to establish just right relations and right words and organizing. This is hygiene and cleanliness. She's about how can I provide stability in a practical way here? Okay, so she's in this Virgo energy all week long, and her and Mercury are huge. Other than the sun and Jupiter and the authority figures, it's the moon power that's really, really pronounced this week. So with that moon power, it's my emotions and my feelings and the conversations that we're having about how I feel and about fairness and equality and how to provide stability. Where is it? Who has it? How do we get it over here? And what are the practical, tangible ways that we can set that up? And I'm really focused on this because Saturn and Venus have a strong connection when Venus is in Virgo. There's a strong connection because the Venus energy is working towards something. She wants to make something better in a really practical, real life way. And Saturn is all about that stuff. But it says it's not just about, it says, okay, let's prepare, let's clean, let's organize, let's restructure, and let's build something for the long term. And it's at the Venus degree. You see that? It's at the Venus degree. Matter of fact, this is where Saturn begins her retrograde, at the Venus degree. So this, along with the Taurus energy, the Chiron at 0, still in a very strong trine with the node, the south node in Virgo, right? Unconventional ideas and solutions. So in our old world mind, I'll repeat that, in the old world mind, we don't have the solutions because it's our old world mind, right? But we're not in the old world mind anymore. This is a new world and a new mind. Our frequencies have been and are still undergoing upgrades. And so with that comes new, unconventional ideas and solutions. So to some degree, we're going to have to trust the process. We're going to have faith, and we're just going to have to understand truly what is important to us going forward.